Welcome to Sir Derwin Speaks. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor to have you guys with us that are viewing this channel and viewing this video. We do truly appreciate all of your support and your prayers. We want to thank God for our subscribers, those that have already subscribed, and those that will eventually come as subscribers. We thank you in advance for all your prayers and your support. We just want to come on here with true, authentic content, something that we can put into our toolboxes as we walk out into this world that we're living in, and that we can have some things to help hold us in the times that we need help. Is there anybody this morning that feels like sometimes I just need some help? Sometimes I just need some encouragement, some lift me up, some come on and let's get started? We all have been there. And I know you that viewing this have been in those times where you just didn't feel motivated. You didn't feel like pushing on. There's some times you had to second guess about some things. But today in this video, we want to encourage you guys and motivate you how to stir yourselves up. Get yourself motivated and get going again. We all go through situations and circumstances. It doesn't matter about how much money you have. It doesn't matter what cars you drive, the clothes you wear, the jewelry you bling bling. It doesn't matter about any of that. Anybody in any areas that have careers or whatever's going on in your life, we all have trials and tribulations and moments where we are truly tested. It's just the way it is, because testing allows us to see the areas that we need to work on so we can become a better version of ourselves. We're so grateful that you guys are tuned in today. We have a powerful topic on today that we're going to be sharing on today that's going to uplift you and help motivate you to another level of greatness. And I just want to talk today, and I want you guys to stay all the way to the end. There's some great nuggets. I want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and jot down some notes and things, because some of these things that are coming outside of me, they're not written, and this is unscripted. This is authentic through revelation and through just knowledge. We want to encourage you guys that, when we share things, it's for you to really get a grasp of what's going on and what's being said. And I want to talk today. I want to really start today off with a topic that we're going to build on. What does it look like at the bottom? I just want you to think on that for just a moment. We're just going to relax for a minute, and we're going to think on that. What does it look like at the bottom? Man, that's a great one right there, man. When you start thinking about it, let your mind begin to filter down to the topic. What does it really look like at the bottom? I remember when I was on drugs and out in the streets and stuff for over 25 years. And, they used to say in rehab, said, you'll never stop until you hit the bottom. They said until you hit rock bottom. I don't know what that means, but they said until you hit the bottom, you would never see the time that you'll want to stop using drugs and alcohol or whatever, that I was abusing at the time. I was what you would call polyaddicted. I was addicted to multiple drugs. So they said until you hit rock bottom, you wouldn't know how to come back up out of it. So I want to build off of a mindset, just thinking about, is there been times in your life when it felt like you've been at the bottom? You hear a lot of people that are successful, they'll be quick to testify about, I started from the bottom and now I'm at the top. What is the bottom? What does the bottom look like for you? When people say the bottom, I'm at my bottom, but one thing you got to understand, there's a revelation and there's a lesson to be learned at the bottom. A lot of times we look at it as a sad place, a displaced a place, or a place that's lonely and just something that you're dealing with, the bottom. Seems like nothing is working. It seems like people are against you. People are lying on you, talking about you. Family members are not getting along. It just seems like the bottom. You can't get a raise. Your car's not running right. The children are disobedient. So many family and friends are dying all around. I'm talking about being at the actual bottom. What does it look like? The times in your life when you've been through some things, were we at the bottom? And what does it look like? I never could ever in my mind figure out when I actually hit a bottom, if that's what they call it. All I know is that as I kept walking in my journey of life, even while addicted, I still believe that there was a power that was greater than what I had inside of me that was going to help me get free. There's so many things that's holding us back right now because we're living in history. We're living in those things that have put shackles around our feet and around our hands and have demotivated us and not made us want to keep moving. It's hard moving with shackles. It's hard moving with bondage of the past and those broken relationships and those things that we constantly struggle with. It's time for us to be free. It's time for us to stop being at the bottom and stand up and be tall. That situation at the bottom was making you and shaping you. You still here. We can look at a lot of things and argue and complain about this and that, but you are still here. I might not feel the best. I might not look the best. I might not be good, but I'm still here. Here means you have another opportunity. Here. What does the bottom look like? What is the purpose of the bottom? Because you never would know what's the top. How would you know you are progressing if there wasn't something higher than the bottom? The bottom is a safe place to begin to make you, shape you, and mold you so you can walk into greatness. It ain't about people always patting you on your back. Man, look, I learned to motivate myself. I get up and talk to myself. Come on, Sydney. Come on, Sydney, you can do this. You can't always wait for somebody to come and give you a hand and tell you to stand up. Sometimes you got to look around and use what you got and begin to stand up in your situation. Tell that situation, man, you ain't got nothing on me. I'm rising above this. I've been at the bottom. I'm searching and trying to progress to the top, but you got to stay motivated. When you constantly seek God in prayer and constantly try to live the best life that you can, automatically you come into alignment to the blessings that have been assigned to your life. The struggle is only temporary. It's a place to get you into position. The bottom, it didn't destroy you. You're still here. The bottom did not destroy you. Now you have the responsibility to stand up. Stand up. Stand up in that situation and dictate to that situation, I will not be held down anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm stop faking and quaking. Man, I want the real deal. I want to walk free of these things that's been holding me back. And I'm getting ready to stand up. The bottom is going to help get you in a more humble space. God moves on humbleness. He exalts in humbleness. He exalts in times that you're down. Did you know that God promotes in a struggle? Did you know that when God begins to elevate you out of your situation, it's when you're in the struggle? We're waiting to get out, but you're getting out while you're in. Oh man, that's somebody need to write that down. You're getting out while you're in. What? While you're in your situation, God is actually getting you out of that situation, even though you're in it. I'm not trying to confuse you. It's just a revelation. It's like the God that we serve that's watching over us, and the things that are put down inside of you are designed to be stirred. Sometimes you got to go in and stir the pot. You got to sometimes go stir the inside of you. Stir that gift and stir that talent up and get out and be great. What things are we looking for? Are we continually want to stay at the bottom? Learn the lesson of why we've been here and look at where we're going. Where are you going? I remember a time when I was going through a situation. It was man, I'm telling you, I had no type of direction. I didn't know what to do. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in a situation where you just didn't know what to do? So I prayed and I prayed. I did just like everybody said, go pray, pray and seek God. Man, I was going through so much, I didn't want to do anything. So I decided to get on my knees and pray. And I began to pray and call on the Lord and ask God, Lord, help me out of this situation. I don't have nobody to help me. I'm gonna this, I'm gonna that. Lord, please, just begging God. We all have been in situations where we beg God because we done got ourselves in some mess. But the thing about it is that as I was praying, I'm looking for some great solution, just out of the nowhere type of blessing. You know what God said to me? He said, use what you got to get what you want. Wait. Use what you got to get what you want. Man, I'm sitting there thinking, trying to figure this out, and that ain't even deep. God just saying, wherever you at in your life, use what you have to get where you're trying to go. So when I was in this dream or this vision, I was in a hole. And I could see up. And the hole was big. Not big, but double my size. And I could see the light shining down because the light looks for darkness. Did you know that? Did you know that light looks for darkness? You notice that when something's dark and when you bring light into it, it illuminates, but you can't bring darkness to light? That's deep, right? So when I saw the light shining down in the hole, it began to make me inspired to want to be up there. But I didn't know how I was going to get out of this hole. You ever been in a hole before? I didn't know how to get out. So I was in the hole crying out to God like, Lord, help me, show me the way. God said, use what you got to get what you want. Now in this hole, it was wet on one side of the hole and slippery, and it was muddy because when it rained, rain would come down the sides of the walls of the hole, the rain down in the hole. So one area of the hole was kind of wet and muddy a little bit, but on the other side of the hole was nice and dry and sunlight was hitting it. So while I was in the hole, God was saying, use what you got to get what you want. So I didn't have nothing to choose from to use but mud and then this dry spot. So in the vision, I wanted to be up there. Let me share something with you. There's a different view from the bottom looking up than it is from the top looking down. It is. Because the ones that's in the bottom saying, man, I want to be up there, and the ones in the top saying, I don't want to be down there. But I wanted to be out of that hole. So God saying, use what you got. So I'm looking at mud, and I'm looking at a dry spot, and I'm looking at sunlight coming through the hole. So something inside of me, while I was in the dream, I went over and remember my childhood days. And I began to make mud pies. You remember how I used to play in the mud? And shake pies, I really didn't do it. The girls did it, but I'd play with the mud pies because the girls were playing with the mud pies. But I made the mud pies, and I knew that when you make mud, you got to take some of that water out. You know, you want the mud pie not to be so mushy. You want it to take shape. So I got to an area in the mud where I could shape it. So after I made the mud pie into like a square, I slid that mud pie into the dry area where the sun was shining at. I went back and made another mud pie and shaped it into another brick. And by the time I took that brick there, the first mud pie was dry. And you know, guys, when you do a mud pie, it gets hard. You can almost stand on it. So I slid that mud pie beside the other mud pie and let it dry. Went back and made another mud pie, shaped it, slid it over to the dry spot, and let it dry. I began to keep making mud pies and sliding them into a dry spot, letting them dry, and I began to make steps. I began to, every time I made a mud pie and let it dry, I stacked it on top of the other mud pie, and I began to make steps and built my way up out of that hole. What are you saying, Sydney? I am saying that whatever you're going through right now in your life, there are things that are around you that are in your life that you can use to get what you want. But you got to get up and start moving. You got to do it. You got to get up and shake yourself every day and make it a point that you're going to stand up and be great today. You're going to stop making excuses. You're going to get away from the excuse factory, and you're going to turn those excuses into action, and you're going to stand up and be great. We ain't got nobody now to blame it on. You ain't got no reason to blame it on nothing else but you. I said it in my previous video. You guys go check it out. I'm the problem. What was that experience like at the bottom? We don't want to go back to the bottom. Learn the lessons as we progress. As we progress through our life. As you go through situations, keep your mind focused. You got to. Ain't nobody to blame it on now. You're the problem. I'm the problem. We are the problem for our success. When we break down and analyze all the matrix that affect us, there's so many. What was it like at the bottom? Do we want to revisit pain? Do we want to go back to those things that enslaved us? The world is constantly trying to pull us back into those spaces. Stand up. Get yourself together. There's so much greatness inside of you. Ain't nobody coming always and patting you on your back. Man, get up and motivate yourself. Good job, Sydney. God wants you to understand He loves when He see you going and growing. We all go through, but we come out. You still here? This is a new day for you guys. I want you to be motivated. We don't have to revisit pain. We're going to have painful stuff happening over time, but we don't have to revisit those dead bones that hurt us so bad in the past. Learn from the experience. Motivate yourself off of those bones we left behind. You have no choice now. There is no other option than for you to be great. When you want to stop and turn it off, keep mashing on that gas. When you don't want to get up and get out of that bed, get out of that house. Don't make your house turn it into a tomb. Get out there and be great. You're going to help somebody. Yes, you are. I don't care what you're dealing with right now, you can still help somebody. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. We're going to come and bring it to an end on today. We just wanted to share something to motivate you today. Just a small snippet, a small clip, just to say, you know what? How does the bottom look to you? How did it look? Where do you see yourself going and growing outside of the pain? Let's go to the next level of greatness that has been assigned to your life. Let's go. Ain't nothing can stop you but you. Let's be great. Thank you for tuning in to Sir Derwin Speaks. We hope that this really has been a blessing to you guys. This video has really motivated you and encouraged you guys. What does the bottom look like to you? Man, what a topic right there. What did it look like? What did it feel like? I know I don't want to be there anymore because I've learned the lesson. Guys, if you found any value in this video, guys, I want you to give me a thumbs up. I really need it, guys, because it'll help me move in the algorithm and get this word out to some other people that really need it. You know, guys, if you want to become a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell. Ring it. That way, every time I drop some new content, you're going to get notified that we've got some fresh new content for you. What did that bottom look like for you? I want you to just continue to remember that experience and learn that I become great from the pain. Guys, I want you to share this video and join us again the next time. We want you to know that great things are coming your way. Great people get great things. Stay humble, stay prayerful, stay watchful, and go forth. We pray and thank God for each and every one of you guys. And we look forward to seeing you the next time. Sir Derwin Speaks. And you know this. God bless.